What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Cherokee cooling out, relaxing, and coming at you with another more of the Cherokee Edwards Inspires. And one of the things that I want to talk about with this episode is the things that's needed, the most important things needed to carry on in these hard times, these difficult times that we're dealing with. This is one of those things where you say to yourself, you know, what can we do? What can we do, guys? We need to work together, first of all. And we don't need to sit here and tell people, hey, I'll do this for you, but only if you do this for me. These are the things that has to stop. I've been asked to talk about things that help me get to where I'm at and the way that I think about and approach every day in the business world. Well, one of the things I do is I try to network and associate with people that are like-minded. They have the same type of visions as I have. They may not do it in the vacation world or the speaking world, the podcast world, the salon world, but one of the things they do is whatever they do, they want to be the best at it. And I think that's the most important part of what's going on in my life and what I choose to attack and address. I think that a lot of people get a chance to see the great things that people do, and I believe they want to be that. I believe they want that kind of life, but they just don't know how to go and get it. Well, when you see somebody doing something, I believe you should support them, support what they're doing. If you believe in them, support them, tell them, that you want to be there for the show. You want to be there for anything that they're doing. I got a lot of people that I would think would be in my corner and they chose not to be. And that's okay. But what happens, it can't stop you. It cannot stop you. It's got to make you stronger. I think that's the most important element after having talent is the work ethic. The work ethic is so important. Hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard. I've always been told that, and that's always been something that's been very important. You can stop and think for a minute all the things that have happened to you in your life, things that you've gone through, and how much easier might it have been if people just would have supported you. You know, I remember back in the day when I was playing football in high school, and I wanted my family to come watch me play so bad. And I was setting rushing records. I was a running back and I was doing really well. When I was in Pop Warner Little League, everybody came out to the games. They always supported it. But I guess it's easy to support a little guy, coming up 65 pounds, maybe 4 feet tall or so. But once you get in high school, and usually that's where your talent kind of comes in. But I think what happened a lot of times is people say, well, he's getting bigger now. He doesn't need us as much, and I really, I never liked that. I carry that even to this day with me. It's 2020 and my father passed away in 1993 and my mother passed away in 2001. And I every now and then I still find myself agitated that my dad only came to one high school football game, and that was when I was in the ninth grade. And the team I was playing was a team that was geared to stop the run. So I'm averaging over 200 yards a game. And then I run across this team, and I'm going to go ahead and say the name of it. I was actually in playing against Camden High, very good football team at the time. I don't know how they're doing now. I haven't been keeping up with everybody, but and they were a really good team. And I was playing in South Jersey at the time, and for Edgewood Eagles. And my dad showed up, and I mean, I was literally crying in the huddle because the line was stacked, the linebackers were stacked, 8 in a box, and they just said, you know what, this guy's not going to beat us today. And I only had about 60 yards rushing the entire game, and for a back that's averaging over 200 yards and 4 touchdowns a game, that kind of hurt. It hurt my pride because I wanted to show off for my dad, and I just couldn't. But we played 9 games, as freshmen. I was a ninth grader, and he only came to that one game. And then sophomore through junior and senior, I broke a lot of rushing records, at Simon Gratz High School playing there, and I love playing there. Then I went to Texas A&M, and I was in the Navy. So it was so many things that I wish, my dad would have been part of. And it goes back to that support. And like I said, it's a lifetime thing when somebody you love is not there to support you. And it also goes for you guys that, are friends, and like I said, as I've grown, there's not a day goes by I don't think about my friends. I have friends that I grew up from being a baby: Mike Howard, Herbie Smith, Lawrence Owens, Jeffrey Taylor, Sean Johnson, other known as Frank Johnson. I can just keep going on. The Thompson brothers, Jerome and Brian, Vance, Poindexter. It's just a lot of, Blaine, Blaine Pryor. I'm naming names, but these are people that were my buddies, they were my boys. And we supported each other, as much as we could. But when you move into the business world, you still want to have your support there. You want to have people say, you know what? I want to be around because this is important to you. And when that's not done, believe me, guys, no matter how strong you think your friends are, or the person that you're trying to support, no matter how strong you think they are, they feel that pain. They feel that loss, that, am I really good enough? Or even if I am good enough, does my family and friends really care about me the way I thought they did? It can't be, you know, oh, I'll go because I know that he's going to chew me out if I don't go. It should be equally as important to see me succeed as it is for me, because that comes back to you as well. When you're doing things, I need to be there and I need to show up for what's important to you. So I want you guys to really dig in and think about, how serious are you at commitment? Are you truly serious at being committed to your teammates, to your parents, to your children, to your spouses, to your boyfriend, your girlfriend? I mean, these are things they're very important. They're very, very, very important. And I don't think people make it without it. They just don't. They give up on their dreams. And then one day they find themselves, working for somebody, and they should be working for themselves. I'm really big on people working for themselves. It's not that I don't think people should work for others, because, if you're a doctor, you work for a hospital, we need you. If you're an accountant, you work for an accounting firm, we need you. We need you as a school teacher to work for school systems, but at the same time, there are some times where you just have to say, you know what? I don't like what's going on. I don't like the politics in this situation. I did that myself many years ago. In 2008, I walked away from the resort world because I didn't like the politics. I did not like it. It was all about making money. Now, here's the deal. I made a couple $1 million doing timeshare sales. So I can't sit here and say I left because I wasn't making enough money. What I left for was the people that meant the most, which are the people that were buying, weren't being taken care of correctly by the resorts. People weren't calling them back. People weren't trying to help them make reservations. And then when they had problems getting into places, they just want to say, well, just call corporate or just call this 1-800 number. And that never set well with me. So I said, you know what? I can do this without working at the resorts. And lo and behold, here goes a business. SeaTac Vacation is born. So in 2008, I walked away from corporate America, still very young in my 30s. And here we are 12 years later. And I really love the fact that I'm able to help, and it's rough. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy. And no one ever said that going out on your own would be easy. But I will tell you this, it is very rewarding, very, very rewarding. I wouldn't change a thing. I will say this: make sure you hire correctly, because sometimes you hire people and you think they're going to do a good job. You think they want to be there, and it sounds great, but when the rubber really meets the road, you find out they don't care about your business the way you do. So the one thing that I will say, and I got this from Warren Buffett himself, he said, hire well, So that's my advice to you guys. Hire well. Make sure you hire good people. We'll be back in a minute after station identification from Anchor.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
All right, guys, we're back. And, we're talking about building a business, building a network, and supporting each other. That's what this topic is about tonight. I just really think that we need to check up from the neck up. Those of us that feel like we're friends to someone, let's really evaluate ourselves and then reevaluate ourselves. If we can't answer these questions, are we there for each other? I celebrated a birthday last month, June 15th, and I'm very thankful for the family and the close people that I have around me. I'm very, very thankful for them. But I have people that are having parties and having things coming up, and I see them all the time, and they didn't think, even on my birthday, I talked to some of them on that day. Of course, it's like an afterthought. It's not that they had to say happy birthday or have to buy me anything. I definitely don't need anything bought for me. But the amazing part of it is I was having a conversation with one friend or associate. I got to stop using that word. And I think you guys probably need, what I'm talking about. We say friends and so loosely. But the person was having a conversation with me and didn't even stop to say happy birthday. I mean, we were having a discussion. They just made their points even after I said, well, I have a birthday coming up. You see you doing all this stuff for this. I just wanted them to say happy birthday. That's all I wanted. And the person didn't say it. But now here it is, their birthday's coming up, and and everybody's promoting, hey, we're having a birthday party and we're doing this. But it just think about this for a minute. How does it feel? How would it feel if you gave people back what they gave you, or if you received what you put out? You know, my mom used to tell me when I was little, always treat people the way you want to be treated. If you want to be treated special, treat people special. If you want to be something important, then make somebody else important. Because if you don't make them feel important, they're not going to make you feel important. Now, truth be told, I always tell my wife and I tell everybody, hey, don't make a big thing out of my birthday. I don't care which one it is. Let's not make a big thing out of it. But it's not about that. It's the principle. The principle is, if someone says, hey, guess what? Today's my birthday. At least stop for a minute and say happy birthday to them. Don't keep talking about other things. You know what I mean? Because, it's not always all about you, you know? And like I said before, I'm not upset about it. It's just, these are things that stop relationships from growing. It's selfishness. you know if you want somebody to come to parties that you're giving, and make a big deal out of you, then make a big deal out of them too. you know and if somebody's having a show, try to get there. And if you can't be there, be straight up with them. Just let them know, hey, I can't make it. I wish I could make it, and maybe I'll make the next one. But these are things that stop people from growing. It stops all relationships. All relationships stop with a lack of communication. A lot of people don't communicate well. Marriages stop behind that. you know Friendships stop behind that. Businesses stop behind that. Business relationships stop behind that. you know if you have a business, I should want to know what you do, and you should want to know what I do, so that we could refer and work together, especially small business owners, small business professionals, and entrepreneurs. I hope you're hearing me and listening to me. I think for the most part, people that surround you can actually make you successful. And in that regard, we need to understand that that's what we need. We need people to have our backs, have our backs and tell us, we'll be there. That those are very important factors in success. So, let's just give this a try. Let's work together, because teamwork ultimately makes the dream work. And that's one of the things that I've always prided myself on, is training hard to win easy. Train hard to win easy. Things that you do in practice should be way rougher than the game. The game, you don't get paid for the game as much as it seems like you do. Athletes and entertainers, that's not where we all get paid, by being on that show and that floor and that stadium. We get paid to practice, because truth of the matter is that's where all the work is. All the polishing and everything that you're doing, you're rehearsing it at practice over and over and over, day after day, hour after hour, minute by minute, to day after, and just to get this stuff done, right? Now, the games and the shows are for free, because that's where the excitement happens. That's where, you get a chance to show your skill set. And I think that that's the same in all businesses and all professions. So we have to remember that we need to practice perfection. No one's going to ever be perfect, but no one said don't practice for perfection. I was always taught by my coaches, perfect practice makes perfect, not practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Even though you'll never be perfect, if you're not striving for perfection, then what are you doing? You're almost setting yourself up for failure. I hear people say, well, you know what? Nobody's perfect. And they say that before they start doing whatever it is that they're trying to do. And the moment you speak that, you actually condition yourself to prepare for failure. There's a drill that a world-class tennis player talked about. He spoke about this, about every time he hit the ball, he would envision the ball going over the net. He would just literally visualize it going over the net before he even hit the ball. But then he would say, it was like the coach would say, don't hit the ball into the net. Don't hit the ball into the net. And guess what the first thing the person does when they hear that? They hit the ball into the net, because that was the last thing they visualized before they hit the ball. And the mind doesn't know the difference between a lie and the truth. So whatever you feed it, that's what it's going to ingest. If you feed it that you're great beyond measure, you're the best, you are here, everybody's here to see you, eventually your confidence is going to start coming up, and it's going to match it. But if you keep telling yourself and doubting yourself, telling yourself you're not good enough, you're always in self-doubt, self-pity, you're having pity parties, then ultimately that's going to be your life. And no one's going to want to be around you, because people don't like to be around people that bring them down. They just don't. So I want you guys to practice that. I think that that's very important, to practice true friendship, true accountability, and support each other. Support one another doing things that somebody would want you to do. Be there. Be there for them. Support them. You find out that people will be there for you a lot more than you thought they would be there. But again, people will start fading out on you as they see that you don't truly care. If they feel like you don't care, it's another saying. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So I'm going to get on out of here. But on that note, I wanted to just remind you to find somebody that you can work with of equal value, of something that they do, a friend of yours, and tell yourself, that's what I want to do. That's going to be the person that I'm going to gravitate toward. And I promise your life will change. I love you guys. And again, just be the best version of yourself. The best version of yourself. And this is my man. We're going to let him take us on out of here. Michael G. Hawkins. This is my flautist. I love this guy. I listen to this music whenever I'm relaxing. I hope you guys like it too. Peace, and I love you.